Well, good morning, friends. What an interesting topic, huh? On the other hand, it's not such a mystery. The answer is not such a mystery to a crowd like this. Do you need a guru? But we'll proceed on anyway. So I'm going to read a very special prayer demand. These are whispers from eternity. It's one that I've been working with now for several weeks. I like to take one and try to go deeper and deeper and deeper in it. And this one is very present, very apropos for today's topic. It's the prayer demand for illumination. O Spirit, beloved Father, Oversoul of the universe, Spirit of spirits, Friend of friends, teach me the mystery of my existence. Teach me to worship Thee in breathlessness and in deathlessness. In the fire of devotion, burn away my ignorance. In the stillness of my soul, come, Spirit, come. Possess me and teach me to feel Thy immortal presence in and around me. Come, Spirit, come. Oh, come, Spirit, come. Isn't that a beautiful prayer demand? Devi and I, many years ago, were with Swamiji in Gurgaon, and Swami was doing an interview, and this young woman who was asking him questions said to Swamiji, "Do we need a guru?" And we were shocked by his answer. He said, "No, you don't need a guru. Why would you want somebody telling you what to do?" Said, on the other hand, if you want to find God, then you need a guru. But there's, it's funny, but there's a depth of meaning in that answer because it captures that point of what a devotee is as opposed to someone who is not yet consciously, everybody's on the spiritual path, but people who have consciously decided that they want something more than what the world has to offer. And so for those people who want out of the delusion of the world, we need a guide to help us get out because you see a little maze. I don't know if you've ever done those puzzles where you have a little maze and you're trying to get from one point to the end, the exit. Well, imagine a maze the size of this room and you're trying to figure it out and all you can see is a little bit at a time. You need somebody to help you through that. Now, we come into this world imagine the soul as, let's say, a globe of intelligent light. And that intelligent container contains all of our past experiences, and it contains all of our future potential. And so we come into this lifetime bringing all of the experiences that we've had up until now, maybe millions and millions of lifetimes of experiences. And all of that together, kind of accumulated and balanced out, is our personal karma that we come into this life. And so when we say, no, I want to be free, I want to make my own choices, we aren't free. We're guided by and controlled by what we've done before and the tendencies that we've developed. If we have a tendency toward anger, which in the Bhagavad Gita gives a beautiful description of what creates anger. It says, gazing upon an object creates desire for the object. Desire, when frustrated, can burst into anger. So if a person comes, and then it goes on to say, in anger you lose your center, and in losing your center you lose basically your ability to function. But in this case, dealing with frustration, if you have the tendency toward anger, then you have built that up from past lives and you bring that into this life. But it isn't only our own karma that controls us. So why would we want somebody telling us what to do? Well, our past incarnations are telling us what to do. But that isn't the only thing. In this conversation in Gurgaon, which is an apropos setting, because the meaning of Gurgaon, now they've gone back to the more original term, Gurugram, means the village of the Guru. It was Dronacharya's village from the Bhagavad Gita, and that's where this interview was taking place. So do we need a guru? So Master goes on to explain that our past individual karma is only one part and a small part of what is controlling us. First of all, the most important thing is the era into which we're born. So we think in a certain way, but he said if we were born in the 5th century, we wouldn't care about whether this food had certain vitamin D and vitamin A and B. We wouldn't care so much about the style of our clothes. We'd be more concerned with whether it's keeping us warm or not. And so the whole kind of, one might say, mindset that we have is dependent on the era in which we're born, the play that's going on, the particular dream, that this globe of intelligent light comes into. And so that's controlling us. Our family is controlling us. When we grow up in a certain family, we take on their values. I read that this was in Ireland, but it applies to any and all cultures, that by the age of 3, if you were Catholic, you hated the Protestants. And if you were Protestant, you hated the Catholics, depending on which your family was. And so the family influences, tells you who to get. If you bring a tendency to be angry, it tells you who to be angry toward and who not to be angry toward. And then you've got the national influences and the kinds of food that you eat, the language that you speak. Then you've got the influence of all your peers and friends. So it is not a question of, are we going to be free? Who wants somebody telling us what to do? We're always going to have somebody telling us what to do. The question is, do we want somebody wise telling us what to do, or somebody unwise telling us what to do? And so that is whether you want to have a guru or not, whether you want to have somebody to lead you out of this maze. One of our members here, his mother was visiting, and somehow at the lunch table, a newer guest said, "What does guru mean?" They keep hearing this word guru. And she, with great certainty, said, "Guru means dispenser of darkness." And her son says, "No, Mom, dispeller of darkness, dispeller of darkness." Well, everything that isn't a guru is a dispenser of darkness. And it's the guru, he's the friend of friends, because everything else contains some element of ego. And ego, by its very nature, is still in delusion. That's the basic definition of ego, is the delusion of separation. So everything is influencing us, but only the guru is influencing us in the direction that our soul wants to go in. And so by following the advice of the guru, by serving the guru, by connecting, by attuning our thoughts to the Guru, he knows the way out of this maze that we're in. And so to choose to have a Guru is, in the scriptures, said the greatest gift in all the three worlds, meaning physical, astral, and causal worlds. That having a Guru, because the Guru, like us, has gone through all of the incarnations. He understands us from the inside out. And he's here, comes only in order to help. There, Swami used to tell a story that Ramakrishna told. And so these three people are walking along, and they see this high wall. And from behind the high wall is beautiful music and this beautiful fragrance coming. And they want to see what's there. And so the first fellow, he gets up on the shoulders of the next, and then the third man helps pushing up, finally clambers up to the top of the wall, and he looks in, he claps his hand, jumps down, disappears, leaving the other two. And so the next one figures, well, how are we going to get up there? And so again, kind of manages to lift the second fellow up, and he gets up again, claps his hand, jumps down, and disappears. And the third man, now he really wants to know what's going on. So he finds a log and he leans it up and he climbs up that, gets up to the top of the wall, sees this beautiful garden, just, it's Eden, it's the paradise that he's been longing for. And he's just about to jump in. And he thinks, if I jump in, who will ever be able to tell others of the existence of this? And so he comes back. Well, that's the Guru. He comes back. All of the Gurus here have no compulsion at all. If there's any desire that we retain for anything on the physical plane, we have to incarnate on the physical plane in order to fulfill that desire. And so these great souls have finished all of their desires. They've finished all of their past karma, the effects of their past karma. Karma actually means action. So to say they finished past karma would be like saying they finished past action. Well, we've all finished past action, but we haven't finished the effects of what that past action is. But these gurus have. So there's no hold. They're completely free. Almost everybody in that position jumps over the wall and stays there. But a few, as Master said, crossing 1,000,000 crags of suffering, as long as one stray brother is left crying by the wayside. A very few have such compassion for the delusions of humanity that they want to help bring them and help them climb over the wall into the future that awaits us, and the only future that will fulfill us, which is union with God. And so the Guru comes in order to do that. But it's always God. Basically, all of these influences that we've been talking about, they leave us a choice. Not very big choice, but they do leave us a choice. And that choice is simply this, ultimately, whether to love God or not. All the rest is kind of influenced by all of these things. So God in this creation, it's all, the whole of creation is a closed system. It's only God acting. God is the Guru. God is the person choosing the Guru. God is the person choosing not to follow a Guru. It's all a drama of different levels of consciousness. But within that drama, for each spark, for each individual soul, every soul has the free will to decide when and how and whether to seek back union. There's a desire for that buried in our soul, but for a long time we don't choose to try to move in that direction. So we really have only that one desire, one truly free choice, whether to love God and whether to seek Him. And if we do love God and we do seek Him, then it is very, very hard to wind our way out of all these other influences that we've been subject to. And only someone who has found the way out of those influences has the ability to lead us. And so, as Swami said, you don't need somebody telling you what to do unless you want to know God. And then you do need somebody to tell you what to do. But there's another interesting aspect in this. You know, we need a guru because we need somebody to lead us out. But if the guru is truly free, as these are, they need somebody in delusion to fulfill what they're back here for. And so it's this beautiful play, as Master said when some disciples were helping him down the stairs and he was thanking them. He was taking on people's karma. And his knees and legs were very tender and he couldn't walk at that time. They were carrying him down the stairs and Master said, "Oh, thank you for your kindness." And they said, "Oh, no, Master, thank you for all you've given us." And Master just smiled and said, "God helping God, that's his drama." Well, that's the only drama, God helping God. But God can help God get more in delusion by all the influences, as long as people are acting from ego, or as we're going to hear in the Festival of Light, as the little bird representing the soul, as that soul begins to gain a little bit of independence, the thought comes in the mind, what else is wisdom if not to keep what is mine for myself? Well, one might say that's almost like the slogan of the world at this point. What else is wisdom if not to keep what is mine for myself? And if we want that influence be guiding us, then we can choose that. But if we want the guru to be guiding us, we can choose that. Personally, I'd choose the guru. And I want to end by reading a beautiful, inspiring poem. You know, right now in New Delhi, they're having, or Gurgaon actually, they're having an international conference of teachers and administrators for Education for Life System, EFL. More than 150 teachers there. And it's having a huge effect. But one of the most beautiful things that is done by EFL is we have an online high school. And with that online high school, over the last few years, it has become available to young Afghani women who are otherwise not allowed to attend school. And so they're attending classes online, even though it's dangerous. If they get caught, they'll be punished for it. But they're wise enough to avoid getting caught, at least so far. Nonetheless, the irrepressible nature of the soul, wanting to choose, as it said in the Gita, choose wise teachers. The irrepressible nature of the soul, wanting to choose to have wise teachers. That's one of the dramas going on. So I want to end by reading this poem that we were just sent by Nitai, who is the kind of head of Education for Life, from a young Afghani woman. It's called Crossing. Crossing. When I stood at the edge of a vast, boundless ocean, people whispered, "Do you know there are sharks? Currents that gnaw at bones? Waves that have swallowed dreams before they were known? Is it worth it? What could possibly be out there?" I smiled with eyes like dimmed lanterns. Humans have sharper teeth than sharks. So I stepped in. The ocean pushed back with the wrath of ancient kings, crashing with the weight of every doubt I've ever met. Some rose over my head like glass mountains. Some pulled at my ankles like jealous ghosts. Creatures with many eyes and poisonous tentacles watched from below, then reached from the shadows that coiled across my path, slithered whispers to weaken my will. But I kept my gaze forward, refusing to let my steps falter. I am floating now. My spine is a mast. My breath is the wind. My will is stitched to the stars above. There is more ocean ahead, but I am certain something awaits, something fine, something mine. By Samrin Maki.
Thy joy fill our days. O Master, may thy wisdom guide our ways. The time has come for us to see that there's but one reality upon the earth and high above. The truth that all was made from love. A love that calls to us to fly above the hills, above the sky. A above the storms, above the pain, a land where peace and laughter reign. O Master, may thy joy fill our days. O Master, may thy wisdom guide our ways. Guide all our hopes and all our dreams, past every glow that only seems, into the light, the inner sun, into the truth that we're all one. Help us to find in every hour, in every thought, in every flower, a joy that spans eternity, the truth that makes us ever free. O Master, may thy joy fill our days. O Master, may thy wisdom guide our ways.
The time has come for us to see that there's but one reality upon the earth and high above, the truth that all was made from love. A love that calls to us to fly above the hills, above the sky, above the storms, above the pain, a land where peace and laughter reign. O Master, may thy joy fill our days. O Master, may thy wisdom guide our ways. Guide all our hopes and all our dreams, past every glow that only seems, into the light, the inner sun, into the truth that we're all one. Help us to find in every hour, in every thought, in every flower, a joy that spans eternity, the truth that makes us ever free. O Master, may thy joy fill our days. O Master, may thy wisdom